G'day all, welcome back to another month. We're early July now and we're about 4 weeks into our mating. So we've got about 40 cows that haven't come on heat yet. So just giving them a double PG now. So they'll get one tonight and then one in the morning as well. And hopefully we'll get about half of them. So yeah, we've mated about 650 or so. There's these 40 plus there's about 10 or 20 that won't get mated for various reasons. So pretty happy with how things are going, and it doesn't look like we've had too many returns either for our major part of the program. So we mated, close to 500 in that first week. Looks like we probably, might have about 65% of them that's held so far. A bit hard to tell until we get pre-test results or, get to our 6-week mark. But, yeah, looking really good so far, so which is great. Really good day today, so about 16 degrees. Grass is starting to move a little bit now, which is great, but the next 2 weeks, weather's looking pretty shit. Constant rain every day. Not much, but just enough to keep things wet. So sacrifice paddock's going to be a challenge, which we'll probably see as the video goes. Give us a message or anything if you like across the video, and hope you enjoy what's going on this month. So today we've just received a road train of lucerne hay. So we're middle of July and obviously growth rates are still slow, and trying to make sure we've got enough feed to get through till probably another 6 weeks time when hopefully grass is ready. And we're lucky enough to get this hay from some friends in northern Victoria, in another dairy area about 4 hours north of here. They've had a pretty good season with irrigation up there, and this has become available. So luckily for us, they've also said that we can replace it next harvest. So currently lucerne's worth about $750 a tonne delivered. So hopefully come harvest, prices will come back down to, $300 or $400, which is more than normal. So it's good of them to allow us to do it and not having to pay exorbitant rates now. So we'll get this unloaded today and cows will chew into it. So today we've been able to get our heifers onto grass for the first time this year. So great to see. The Narrogate farm here, it's really growing pretty well compared to the rest of the farms. It's at least a month ahead. We've probably got covers here across the farm of probably 2,000 roughly. So yeah, it's awesome to have, and hopefully these heifers will be on a rotation of about 30 days, to be honest. So we're going to go over these paddocks. These are all new sown perennials. Give them a good nip off, so then we can get the good tillering into them, and then they'll move through into some Italians and vetch that then will become silage after they graze them. So yeah, great to have grass in the diet now for these especially. Hopefully we'll have grass in the milkers at home in the next week or so as well. Won't be much, but it'll be better than nothing. But yeah, to not have to feed them hay and pellets every day, it's a great sight. So we are grazing. It's the 23rd of July, so we are officially grazing, and it would be about 3 months later than normal. So, just shows how much the drought sort of really bitten, and obviously with growth rates being slow to start because we've had to, everything's, as you can see here, everything's been sown. You see the drill rows. It's taken a long time to get going, but it's really taken off the last sort of couple of weeks. It's surprising actually how well it's grown. Like, we've had some pretty cold weather. Today's beautiful. We've had some nice days too, but it's really dried out a lot too. Like, even though it wasn't wet, but we've had probably no rain now for 10 days, and we've had a lot of wind, so it's really dried out the tops of the paddocks, and there's no standing water at all. So we actually could do with, you know, a good inch or even 2 inches of rain, to be honest, especially now that growth rates are really starting to lift. Hard to get a guide on what the growth rates are, because obviously, you know, we're not proper grazing, so it's a bit of a guess, but I'm thinking now we're probably heading towards that 15 to 20 kilos a day type of area, which is great to see. So the plan with these girls is to graze once a day. Approximately, we've got about 3 weeks in front of us under the pivot here, next door to this paddock. So, you know, them covers are at, look, to be honest, you know, there's going to be, you know, 3,500 to 4,000 across most of the pivot. So, we talked in total dry matter, not just what's available. So I know you guys in Ireland talked about what's just available. We talked about total cover with an aim to have, you know, a 1,500 residual. So plan is to have about 3 weeks once a day across all this pivot area, and then that'll take us to around the middle of August, which then, by then, the dry land, if it continues at sort of, you know, 15 to 20 kilos a day, that gives another, you know, 400 or 500 kilos cover on them paddocks. And then hopefully by then we'll be able to at least have 1 full day grazing, and then hopefully heading towards, you know, grazing twice a day. So it's a great to see, and you know, obviously, you know, will make a huge difference to our bottom line, even though our cost of production at the moment is probably around, our cost of feed at the moment is probably around $7, and we're getting, you know, pretty good returns on that because our milk price is, you know, really good this year. But, you know, obviously having grass in the diet, we can pull some of that purchase feed out and, you know, and make them margins even better. So, yeah, certainly a great site. These covers for us probably aren't normal for this time of year. You know, as I've probably explained in the past, you know, we've had nothing to follow up after what was on the pivot because we've had to sow everything else. And most of the other stuff, I'm guessing, is probably at around, you know, 12, somebody probably at 1,500 at the moment. Maybe more. It's a bit hard to know, but so, you know, coming into covers like, you know, like this isn't normal. Like, you know, we'll be normally going in at a 3,000 cover with the aim to bring it down to 1,500. So, you know, that 1,500 available per hectare. As a general rule, and it all depends on how wet the winter is as well. But yeah, this is probably not normal going to this cover. And, you know, in an ideal world, this would have been grazed, you know, 6 weeks ago. But there was no point coming onto grass and then coming off and then going back on again. So we wanted to wait until we had grass in front of us on the dry land. So now we have built this, you know, this feed wedge. You know, we can make sure the dry land will pick up. And obviously coming into August as well, you know, growth rates will start picking up as days get longer. You know, hopefully, you know, it is supposed to get cold this weekend with an inch of rain or more, which is needed. But, you know, hopefully we start to see a few more sunny days and growth rates do pick up. So yeah, just clarifying that, yeah, that's definitely not, going into this sort of cover is definitely not normal, but it's obviously not a normal year either. So to wrap this video up, I'm actually at a brand new dairy. So it's a GEA Robotic dairy in a different part of Victoria. One of my mates has just built this. It's a fair setup, and so there's currently eight robots in there with room for another 4, and they're going to milk about 600 cows here on a grazing grass-based situation. So yeah, it's an incredible setup and something that's not exactly common here in Australia, but yeah, certainly more of them. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next month.
Welcome back. Another month gone. Things are going well here. Cows are in great order. Grass is bombing it. Things are great. Performance at the moment. We're doing 21 litres. So they slipped a bit from the last time. I think we were just over 22. Protein 399. The last collection we had were kind of 401, 399, 388. The fat 470 and somatic cell is 159. We have we've one cow. She's been kind of hovering on with mastitis all year, and tis back with her again. And so she was in that collection. We actually she wasn't milked last night, so she'll milk tomorrow morning now, and we'll be drying her off. She has to go. She's not in calf anyway. So and they're on 1.5 kg a meal. So very happy with performance. Like they're going great. We had a lot of paddocks taken out the last round, so they're kind of into after grass now at the moment. We're still a little bit early. I did the grass walk back on Saturday, and after taking out a couple of paddocks, the average farm cover is at 720 and cover per livestock unit is at 241. Our growth was 87, and with those paddocks gone, our demand is at 55. So we're still you'd like to start building for the autumn, but we're still maybe a week early. So I don't know, we are going to take out some, but I don't know, we're going to have to take out more the week after. You feel like it's just a small bit, like we want to creep up to the 21 days or the 24 days in a week's time or in a month's time, and I'd say we'll be there fairly soon. But so yeah, we'll see how it goes next week again. The breeding, we're finished about 3 weeks. It went well. The few repeats, we've had a few repeats. I'd say when it all finished up, there's probably few more will come, but we'll end up around the 10% again. The majority so far have been older cows. We've had 2 first-time calvers, and I actually served them. They'll be sold next year as kind of on the point of calving and things. We keep all the colts anyway to fatten, so they'd be staying anyway. So that's it. They'll still sure it's disappointing to see the younger stock, but that's it. It'll finish up at a 10%, and if it stays at that, we'll be happy. The paddock they're in today, it was cut on the 7th of July. The bales were taken off it, and it got 2,500 gallons of watery slurry afterwards. We have a lot of bales taken so far. We have after next week now, there won't be any paddock actually. There'll be 2 paddocks that didn't get bales taken off them, and they'll both be reseeded. Have been reseeded. One of them has been reseeded, the other one is going to be reseeded. So every paddock will have a coat of bales taken off it. Some paddocks will have 2 coats of bales taken off it. So it's been that hasn't happened in a long time. So it's been phenomenal. This paddock would have been one of the last couple of years, would have been one of our clover paddocks. It was reseeded back in 19 as a multi-species. You can see all the multi-species are gone. The clover took an awful hit in it last year, and like so much so we weren't really taking an allowance for nitrogen with it this year. That's just it. It just went. It's very hard. It was great when it was there. It was keeping pace with all the other paddocks, but tis gone from us now. The paddock here behind us, we're a couple of days away from going into jet, but this was reseeded with multi-species last autumn, and you can kind of see along there's a lot of thistles in it, but the other part as well to note that the clover is absolutely flying inside in it, but the chicory plant is still good, but the plantain has disappeared. It's not here at all. It's a lot quicker than you'd be expecting, but it it's fine. Like, it was done with the grant, but the clover's bombing at that one. The clover still has a place, but it takes management. Like, it's disappointing that the one here went so quickly, but yeah, that's just it. The multi-species paddock here, the last round, this got 0.918, a bag to the acre of 0.918. So there's no nitrogen in that, and it's still bombing it away like at the moment because there's lots of clover in it. So that's kind of the cows. The condition of the cows, they're in super order. They were delighted with our solids, and the first time calvers are going really well. We'll have, I suppose, maybe we dosed. You might see an odd first time calver here with. We dosed all the first time calvers with Epronix, the Poron. So we did that there a couple of days ago. A few of them it is on their backs at the moment. And all the cows, the whole lot, got their IBR vaccine as well. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, we'll because we don't have access to the silage block, we end up drying off our heifers, our first time calvers, that bit early. So they've about another August, September, like they've about another 2 months, and we start drying them off early. We calve early as well, like, so that's what we end up doing. But so far, like, I mean, it's phenomenal at the moment. Everything is going hunky dory. We'll go back and we'll show you the calves and the maiden heifers in, because that's where all our stories are at the moment. These are maiden heifers. There's 35 of them here. For these, we did fixed time AI with these when they were still inside. We kept them in, and we did half and half 1 week, half the next week, and then they came out there with the bull. So he's gone about 3 weeks now, and we'll scan these now in another 2 weeks, and hopefully they'll all be in calf. If there's one or two not in calf, then they'll be fattened off. We'll start fattening them off, start feeding them and fattening them off straight away. There's three Angus inside here as well with them. So they only came in after the bull left, so they'll be fattened off as well. They'll go for we keep one for our own freezer. So yeah, they're flying it. It's been a super year for them. We'll see how they all go. There's a right mix of Jersey and Frisian inside here. It is a mix of everything really. A lot of daughter-proven bulls. Their figures are good. They should do. Their genetic potential is over the 9% solid. So hopefully we'll start to achieve that. And yeah, we'll see in a few weeks when the scanning goes. Fingers crossed it'll all be okay. But they're flying it. They've had a great summer. They're in this field. It was reseeded in May. We should have been in here about a week ago, but they had to finish another field first. So it is bombing it at the moment. But they'll eat it out, and things are good. So they're going well. All right, the calves. These are our calves. In the last month we had an issue with the calves. We had to bring in 9 calves with summer scour. We haven't got summer scour in the last couple of years, but we got 9 of them had to come in this year. It was really disappointing, but they had to come in. We've lost 2 of them since. They were just taken off grass completely. They were on hay. They got sulphur powders, electrolytes. We had rolled oats in with them to try and dry them up, but it just got into them. The rest of them should be okay. They're still inside. It is very disappointing. Where it kind of came from, maybe you hear people saying that there's a lot of it around this year. We've a lot of reseeding done. This is the outside block, and we've a lot of reseeding done on this in the last couple of years. So maybe the grass has gotten better. We got this ground in 21, so 22 was our first year with it, and so for those couple of years we didn't get any of it. Maybe it was the older grass, I don't know. But last couple of years then when the calves come out, they have access to hay. So they're getting a square bale of hay every day, along with moving to the fresh grass. They're strip grazed as well. they don't have the big field where they get all the nice grass first, like, but they're strip graze to try and make sure they eat it out. And they're on a kilo ration as well. So it's very disappointing that they got it. Don't know what to do. What would you change for next year? I'm not even sure. They don't go out that early. They have access to hay. Some of the times, even for some of the paddocks, we pre-mowed some of it in order that they'd eat some of the fibrous stuff that to keep them right. And they still managed to get it. So it'd be interesting to see if there's a few comments underneath after the video to see what people think to do differently. So the rest of them here are flying it. Like, there's no fear of them. There's no dirty bums or anything like, and the dungs are fine and solid. But just those 9 got it, and you picked them out straight away, like that they had to come in. But that's unfortunately it. The calves. There's a couple of bull calves still here. The last few that were born, we got locked up in April. So they're still here. We've one clear test done. So we've another clear test to do in September, and we'll shift them on then. So there's about 60 Frisian heifers here at the moment, or breeding heifers, and we'll sell about 20-25 of them before the winter. We'll only carry the 35 in for the winter. So they'll be sold in the autumn time. But yeah, that's the calves. It's just disappointing. The other part then, we got their dungs sample tested, and there was very little. They've been dosed once now for worms, but we had tested before we dosed them, and there was very little worm activity in it, or worm burden, or whatever worm stressor, but there was no worm count in it, egg count, and there was no coccidiosis in it either. So in terms of the summer of the grass scour, it wasn't coccidiosis, it wasn't worms. It seems to be that it was a proper grass scour. So it'll be interesting to see what people think about it. That's us. Hopefully that's the end of it, and the rest of them will come around again. So that's it.
Hi guys, Ollie Badcock here from Kerner Pasture, Southland, New Zealand. Just giving you the on-farm update for the month of July. It's been pretty status quo. We've really enjoyed this July. I think we've had 8 mills so far, and we are now the 22nd of July. It's been great, absolutely great. Cows have done well. Once again, this is one of my later mobs, still out on crop, just working their way through the paddock and the baleage. These girls are on Swedes. What we've been up to so far is that the boys managed to get the first calvers, the early calvers, the first 400 cows that are going to calve. They all came through the yards, or came through the cow shed there last week for their Robotic B12 and selenium. And as each of these mobs come home, these girls will all be Robotic as well, just to give that calf the protection in the shed. Bit different there this month. It's been just maintenance, just changing air lines over in the cow shed, milk lines, inflations are to be done, but also what we've got is the new half of the new team starting. So what we'll be going through is a bit of our induction policies, some of the apps that we use, just to make that transition from the UK or Ireland that wee bit easier, wee bit more straightforward. We've also got a couple of calves on the ground there now. Heifers aren't supposed to start till the 10th of August, but I think we've got about 10 heifers in so far and a couple of cows. So it just gets everyone a wee bit more accustomed to the cow shed. Cows start understanding what the shed's doing. It's always a little bit different when you start a new farm. So it also helps with that induction process. We've also got to get all the heifers off crop there at the end of the month. So they've got crop until the 1st of August. All of those heifers will come home. They'll have their B12 selenium. We'll get them onto the yard at the cow shed. We'll be running them through the drafting gate, and then just get them used to the whole setup and the concrete. And then I'll turn the drafting gate on and I'll have a draft sorted. So I'll split the heifers that are in calf to AI and the heifers that are in calf to the bull. So I'll calm them down separately. So that's to come. And yeah, just the normal stuff really. We've been monitoring grass every fortnight. We're currently sitting on a cover of 2,500. That's with a couple of frosts and stuff. So really pleased with winter growths. We'll get one right at the end of the month, just so we know how much we grew through June and July as a daily average. You know, July was sitting at 17 kilos a day, and July was turning at 4. You know, a few more frosts, less sunny days, but today is one of those days that it's sunny, you're enjoying the job. So yeah, we'll just take you through a few videos of induction, and hopefully we'll get to see the heifers come through the yards. So a couple of the apps that we have is the resolution one here, which is really good for all of our recording, the maintenance, anything on the farm that we record. So what we do is get the team set up on this, and we can sort all the things out by name. And what we then do is have different categories. So when I start staff off, we've got different sections for emergency plans, hazard maps, inductions, SOPs. And then all of our SOPs are then on a file. So if anybody wanted to look up something, it's all on the SOP side of things. So what we've got here is we've got our wash policies and procedures at the cowshed, and then after that we have other inductions, the likes of the rules that we have for tractors and bikes on farm. But a lot of the main ones is that they've always got this to look back on. It's like the calf rearing policies that we have to rear calves, the way that we do it. But they've always got access to this, and how we allocate feed, and just the simple things and the small things that we are all aware of, but how we've always got it at our fingertips. So they've always got this to look at. I'll actually set a task for everybody, and they'll have to go and read through all of these before completing the task. We also have all of our team on PaySource, which is our recording of the hours and how we pay them. So everything's all on their phones. So this is just all the previous employees that we've had, and they can log on and log out their day, and they get paid by the hour. So a little earlier than I'd hoped. One mob of heifers are coming off crop. These girls started going a little bit earlier than we anticipated, so a couple of days left on crop. I just thought we'd pull them off. We're going to give them a B12 and selenium and a Robotic there now, and then split these in half, the ones that were in calf to AB. So we've just got a bit of a walk down the road, and a gentle transition back onto the dairy farm. But they've seemed to winter really well, and yeah, no, pretty pleased with them, to be fair.